Okay, so this is a tutorial to make one of the little books that is made up of CD sleeves. Okay. It's very reasonable because I buy about 100 sleeves for under £2. So you can put in as many pages as you like, and you can carry on and expand it by just simply undoing the ribbon here and adding more pages. Okay, so the actual measurements, the covers themselves here measure 16.3 by 13, right, side to side, top to bottom. So the covers that we make, front and back, are going to be 17 by 13.5, and I've already cut those here to one for front, one for back, and we're going to cut the hinge 2.5 from that. So there's your 17 centimetres, and we've cut off 2.5. Okay, so this is moutboard. It's very sturdy, and I buy offcuts from a framer's or an art shop. So these are the front and back cover pictures that I've chosen, and it's from the Paper Pantry Pretty Poppies range. So I'll put those to one side for the moment because we're going to concentrate on this. This will be the front cover, and I like to use a bit of moutboard to separate those there we go, so that I've got the two pieces with a small gap between. It's slipping on the mat, so very careful. And I'm going to take Scotch Magic and carefully place Scotch Magic. Just do it this way because it's all slippery today. I've been polishing my mat. So fix those with the gap in between. Anything extra you can fold down, top and bottom. Doesn't matter what colour you've got, we're going to cover it all. So then we're going to place another piece on this side and fold over. Right, so now I take my embossing tool, and with the biggest tool I've got, I gently push down the gap and turn it over and repeat. Now what that's doing is stretching the Scotch Magic, and it's pushing it so it seals together in the middle. So there is a hinge. It's really flexible. Now if I'm going with colour on there, I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to have the dark colour on the inside or the outside, it doesn't matter, but I'd like them both the same. Although we're not going to see it, it will affect the colour of the paper, because it will show through as it's a dark colour a little bit and darken my sheet. So fold that over. The largest ball tool, push it down, flip it over, and then I go to the smaller ball tool and stretch it down a little bit further. So if I now place the two light bits together, there is my book with the hinged covers. Okay, so separate those, and what I want to do now is to mark the holes. So I want to just check that that fits in nicely. Okay, we'll mark the holes later. Right, we're going to cover each one. This is a directional paper, so front page is going to go on like that, and I'm going to use wet glue to place that in the middle. Okay, the wet glue is just going to hold it as you work on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take double-sided adhesive and place it on there all the way round the outside. Prefer to tear off a large piece and then work with it. There, it's all the way around there. Now, if you watch the album tutorial, you'll have seen this technique. I want to trim the corners, but I want to stay about 1/2 centimetre away from that corner. Doesn't matter what angle. You'll see in a minute it will be a perfect corner. So I go for the smallest pieces first. So shortest edge. Take this, pull my fingers towards me into the middle and then fold them out. Turn it round. Pull it towards you, fingers in the middle, and then push outwards. And then we do the magic bit, which is taking the corner and just dent it in a bit on each side. There we go. And once you've done that, you can take off the extra tape, fingers to the middle and push out. Now we have now perfect corners. It's that magic little push that we do that makes all the difference. Pull it across in the middle, fingers in and push outwards. Perfect corners for both bits. Right. There is my hinge working perfectly. Now make sure that this is going to be the right way. So it's cream inside to cream inside. And I want to make sure that this is growing upwards. So I'm going to put wet glue just on here, just to hold it, and place that in the middle there. I can now snip my corners, not measuring any angles. short side first. Now, because I put the double-sided on first and then cut the angle, can't quite get to that one, I know that my double-sided tape is side to side and there's no gap. So I'm going to fold that forward, fingers in, slide out. Fingers in, slide out, and then the magic push to dent the corners in. Okay. Fold over and out with the corners. Fold over and out to the corners. I now have my two pieces, back and front, that have both got the hinges working. Okay. So now I've cut myself some inside covers, 16.5 by 12.5, and you can see when they go in like that, there is a tiny border all the way round. Okay. It's important that you get double-sided tape now to all of these corners. So we're going to work with the back first. And we're going to take double-sided tape and we're going to go all the way round. I will do one and then I will stop the video while I do the other. Here we go. So we have 4 pieces all the way round, and what I'm going to do now is a little bit of wet glue, just a smidge, and I'm going to take these and fold these at right angles. Now the reason to fold these at right angles is that only a small amount of the glue is exposed. So I can now turn that around so that they're flying the right way. Place that down and I can play around with it until I'm ready to commit and then press the 4 corners. Then I can simply take my double-sided tape, pull it out, and I know that it's going to be exactly in the right place. Okay, so there's one, and I'll come back in a second. Right, there are my 2 pieces completely covered. There we go. And I've got my hinges towards the middle. So what I want to do now is to take my wad of CD covers. I want to place this on. I have done these, punched through all of these together with a normal office paper punch. Okay, so no special equipment. Right, I will show you a slight difference I've made with mine. And what I'm doing now is just putting dots in the place where I want to punch. Flip it over, even it up, and a dot in the middle of each of those. Okay, I can put that to one side for the moment. I'll bring in my punch, and what I would say is not all punches are equal distance from the outside. So I have put a white mark where I can see that the punch is coming down. that way I can line up my spots with my line, push it as far as it will go, and I've got my holes in the right place. Exactly the same with this one. Make sure it's in, and I've got my spots in the right place. So there we go. There's that. That will be going into there, and that will be going on the top, and we're going to place our ribbon through there to tie it together. So I'm now going to take white ribbon on this one, take my tweezers and push through the front, through the CD cover and through there. So turn it over, flatten the ribbon and take the tweezers and go through and through the last piece. Right, nice straight bit on the back can now come out, and we do, but I think if I remember from Girl Guides, is a surgeon's knot. So you go a normal one, wrap it round a second time, okay, and then twist so it tightens up, and then you can add an extra knot, and that extra twist will hold it tight for you. Okay, so tie a little bow. If you open your album and put new papers in it, then just add a new piece of ribbon. Right, so there is our album, and there are our sheets ready to start filling our album. Now the first thing you need to do is, this is the piece that is the front piece that people are going to see first of all. Okay, so I'm going to press that down there. So this needs to make an impact. So I'm going to go and choose my papers now, and we'll see where we go with that. Right, when we choose our pages, I have chosen 8x8, that's 8 inches by 8 inches pads, which was what was the Pretty Poppies. And what I'm going to do is show you how to cut it and get the most out of your pages. So you need 12 by 12 for your pages, and that slots straight into one of those. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, if we cut out 12 by 12 from our sheet and do one cut all the way down, I've cut the other half into a wide strip and a small strip. So that's that bit. So if I show you on here, that, and this is the piece that has come out of there. So that's that piece. We're going to use all of those, and I have chosen 2 of each colour. So I've got 8 8x8s I've cut up. So I've also got some white blank sheets. Now I want to take a white blank sheet and place that in my front panel. We're going to decorate up the others in a minute. Right, so that is facing forward. I'm going to use, let's see, there's some nice, this is going to be my next double page, so I turn it backwards and I slide that inside there. We're going to pull them out and decorate later, but I'm trying to establish my double pages. So that's going to face forward. Okay, and I'm going to go for the pale green, so that's going to face backwards to make my next page. And that's facing forwards. See how easily you can get these in and out. So next double page, so blank to begin with, pink flowers, green butterflies. Then I have got pink butterflies and the same as we used for the cover. But to change things up a bit, okay, I'm now going to go with this. So I want 2 white pieces and I want to put a lilac butterflies down there and a lilac butterflies down there. Okay, so I've got myself a punch, a border punch, and I'm going to punch make sure it's matched up nicely. Right, so this one I'm going to put wood glue and a couple of dobs there. This is going to go this side of my page, even up the pattern, turn it over and trim off. So that's going to be on there, so we have to place that down. It's better if you can let it dry a little while, but I'm sure you don't want to watch glue dry. There. So there is that one. I then want to put that one in there with this side punched. So there we are. Wet glue on that side. Just so happens that 2 patterns, let's just shift that one a bit. 2 patterns goes all the way down. There we go. So now we can slide that in there. Okay. Now I'm going to put a full page in next, which is going to be this one. Page next, and then on this one I'm going to use some of these half pieces, and I think I'm going to go back to that design. So that's going to be on there, and I'm also going to put across, no, I think I'm going to fussy cut around that border and fix that on. So I will carry on filling the pages, and then we will come back and see how we've gone on. Okay, so I've filled my book with pages at the moment, and then we'll start filling some of the pages. So I've got my blank page here, which I'm not sure yet how I will introduce it. Right, I've got a double page with flowers on. I've got a double page with butterflies. Now, some of the odd bits here I have punched, so I've got matching pages here. Full page with poppies on it. Now, this one I've fussy cut around just to give a more muted, flowing border. Butterflies. Now, this one I have used one of the very thin strips here, and I've cut through here to make two narrow ribbon bits, and I've punched again a lacy edge. Here's the lacy edge going downwards. This one I have taken some of these narrow strips, and I've gone across with one, and I've gone down with one, and because there was a gap in the middle here, I've just put a flower onto the corners to cover that up. Okay, now this one was one of these pieces, and I've cut it in half, and I've punched the top half of this bit and the bottom half of this bit, so that you make sure that all the butterflies are up the right way. Okay. This one again I've punched downwards, and this one I needed to tie in with the back page, so I've just put a couple of strips down, and what I'll probably do is a little peel off down here to just soften that edge when I decide what it is I'm going to put on there. But from all the pages, I just wanted to see what was left. All of this was left over from using the 8 pages, so you can see how economical it is. So I'm just going to go and now get some bits together to start filling my pages. Right, so I've taken out my first couple of pages, and I'll split the video up so that we can do bits at a time. Now this is the first bit that I've pulled out to go on here, but you can see that that interferes with the verse that I've put in. So I'm just going to snip the bird's legs under there. Okay, and I'm going to put that on there. So that's my first one. I don't want it to interfere with that, and so what I have to do now is I'll just trim that level. Now here we've got the little bird, and we're going to come in with the little bird. There he is, so he's looking at that, and I have some little flowers that match. So I'm just going to cover the fact that I've cut his feet. Slide that to there, and he's just coming out from behind the flowers there. If there's any trace left there, I'm just trimming off anything that overhangs. So that's my first one, and I'm going to flip that because I need to now look at this one. I prefer to get the pages out and slide them both in together, so they'll go into this pocket. But what I'm going to look at now is the designs of this one. Okay, so on the sheet, I could put that there. That's a little bit overpowering. So I'm going to decide first of all what the verse will be. How beautiful a day can be when friendship touches it. And we're going onto this side. Beautiful a day can be when friendship touches it. That's going to be finished. Okay, so I turn that over and I can slot that in. Make sure the bird goes in. There we go. So that first page is done, and the return page is done. So now I can take out these two. And I can start working on those. So here we've got a blank page. Now I've got a decoupage piece of an envelope. So I'm going to add that to this page here. And I'm just going at an angle. So that is pretty. Turn it over and gives us access now to our next two pages. Okay, so this time I'm going to decorate this side, and I think I'm going to have this one. Our page is green, so it's a good friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. So I'm going to trim that down to there. And peel it off. And rub it down into there. Now I've got the butterflies behind, and I have an idea what I can put on the other side. Now what I found now is a punch that has something similar to a four-leaf clover. So I'm going to take that, and I just want one on the side of the verse. So I'm going to place that one there, And then I'm just going to place these in a cluster. On there, and just to highlight these, I've got some green jewels that I'm just going to pop in the centre. So long as you don't stack up too much, there is some leeway for adding little jewels and things. There we go. I need to just cut these apart. And obviously the glue has come off. There we go. And I'm going to take the last one onto there. So I've now got my 2 pages. Turn it over, and I'm carefully, because of those jewels, going to slip this into there. Okay, so this one fold over for the moment, and here we have these next 2. Now the video will take too long to do if I don't shorten it a bit. So I'm going to go on and decorate the other pages, and we'll be back to see the end result. Okay, so I finished doing the pages. I'll just do a quick flip through. Here we've got an oval, and I've taken some of the decoupage and taken it across to the other page. This again is decoupage. Instead of one tiny flower, I've split it up into 3, and I've taken the decoupage from the bow and put it over there. Right. True friends are never apart, maybe in distance but never in heart. I've added a heart-shaped decoupage. The flowers were not the right colour, so I've just brought in the poppy up onto the heart, and I've just added a couple of pinky flowers to pull all the colours in. This one's very fussy, so it had to have white backgrounds to make the decoration stand up. This was an ideal one to split a greeting, a saying. This again, because it had 2 strips, I could take the greeting, and you'll see that this one, instead of being a single block, I've split it up so that it fills the whole page. This one was the strips. I've added some more decoupage that this came from, and just a few hand-drawn notes of music. Okay. This one again, you always end up with tiny bits of decoupage that perhaps you don't use. So what I've done is just taken some purpley ones and match them, so I've got 1 each on there, 1 each on there, and 1 of these on each page. This one, just using some big decoupage. This would have actually piled up on top of there, but I've split it. Okay, This one I've put a larger verse down. There was only room for a little bit of decoupage, but I've also taken it now onto the back cover piece, and it also gives me room to write when I'm sending this to somebody, that I can just write a little message with love from. Okay, so very simple, very cheap to make, and I hope you enjoy.